Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. Readers of freedomsphoenix.com are constantly provided the information that detail the real news between the lines of propaganda about government policies and the true relationship we all have with coercive governments. Learn the true condition of our economy, innovations and technological breakthroughs in energy, health, computer science, and space travel. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media, the media that is so last century. Corporate media has evolved into nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but we now have a fantastic alternative. freedomsphoenix.com provides constant news updates on the issues that affect our lives in the most important ways. Our liberty and our property are under constant attack, and freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda while encouraging the participation of our readers. Join us at freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com, where the revolution between the ears has already matured.
It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Tonight, let us make them remember we are not afraid!
Yeah, we're not afraid here on Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, another unafeared individual, Larken Rose, author of The Iron Web and the Most Dangerous Superstition that just came out. Go ahead and give out a plug for your book, man, where they can go and buy your stuff. Give out your webpage.
Sure. The webpage is just larkenrose.com. The only thing to remember is it's LARKENROSE.com. And the Most Dangerous Superstitions, $10, which includes shipping. It's only 200 pages, so it's not daunting or terrifying or intimidating. But it is by far the most important thing I've ever written. You can also get The Iron Web and How to Be a Successful Tyrant and read a bunch of free.
Oh, I forgot about that one. How to Be a Successful Tyrant. Tell us about that.
That was the first one. Yep.
Yeah, tell us about that.
That was a fun one. That one, it came out when I was in prison, but I actually wrote it before. It's basically a manual for how to be a tyrant, how to subjugate people and get away with it. Now, as people who know me could probably guess, I didn't write it because I actually wanted more tyrants. But it's written as a playbook for tyrants so that their intended victims can look and go, oh, that's how they do it, and that's why it sounds so nice and it sounds so persuasive, and they're out there talking like they're serving us and helping us, and with gun control being a perfect example of if you're a tyrant and you want to deprive your subjects of the ability to forcibly resist your psychotic megalomaniacal schemes, you can't just say, I don't want you to have the power to resist me. You have to come up with a better excuse than that. Like, oh my gosh, look what happens. Look at the carnage when normal people have guns. Only my agent should have guns, then you'll all be protected. So the book goes through a bunch of specific tricks that tyrants use to make people basically cheer for their own enslavement. Because even though, in the movies and comic books, bad guys are always evil and doing their evil cackles and stuff, well, that doesn't work in real life. And nobody would be dumb enough to come along and say, I want power because, frankly, I like power. They will always come along and say, I want power so I can serve you and we can work together to make this country, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah.
I started kind of getting the mindset when they go to serve. It's almost like, you need a bull to service your cows, I'm
Right.
going, okay, I get it. I wanted to spend most of this hour talking about what your predictions are or what you're preparing for. I've predicted that we would get to this point where we are now, but I anticipated in the 90s, I thought it was going to be by the time my children got to be my age when I first started this in 88. So my oldest child is 25. So I was thinking at least another, 3-4 years that before it got to where they were doing all the stuff that they're doing now, Patriot Acts and so on. Mm-hmm. And it, since 9/11, that kind of was a game changer. And they've amped it up, and it's getting to the point to where it's become obvious that the government is just a gang with a flag. And they're going around and chest out and respecting my authority. My authority says what's yours is mine now, and you don't get to keep it. And sooner or later, it gets to where it implodes upon itself. So I'm getting mobile. Just for no other reason than, as an inspiration to others is one benefit, but it's really for my own survival. I am like, I'm a love, man. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'm just like, I want to breathe in and out and enjoy my family. I just started having grandkids. That was my goal from the beginning is, being able to enjoy my grandchildren, pass on a good name to my children. And, I'm good. But, it's going to get really bad. And I have to prepare for it. So my question is, what are you doing to prepare? I mean, are you preparing?
Well, it's funny because part of what you said reminded me, and I actually found it in 10 seconds, of a quote straight out of How to Be a Successful Tyrant. I think this is a really good indication. I think this is outstanding. The best thing that could possibly happen is for them to charge towards tyranny like they're doing right now. It's not nice, it's not pleasant, but it's the biggest mistake they ever make. Here's a direct quote from The Most Dangerous Superstition. The most common mistake tyrants make is to grab too quickly for complete totalitarian power. A tyrant may get most of the way there, and then the peasants start grumbling or even resisting, and instead of taking his time to do it right, the short-sighted tyrant attempts to grab complete control quickly, martial law style. Next thing you know, the formerly successful tyrant is a corpse. The key to getting the last little bit of power is patience, end quote. So I'm thrilled that they're doing what tyrants always do, which is they feel their grip slipping and they grab tighter.
Because they don't know anything else.
Because
it's
if they had, if they had the brains to come along and say, all right, the next puppet we put up as president is going to say, we're going to have 30% tax cuts across the board. We're going to be slashing this department, that department, and the other thing. We're going to, if they did things that would actually release enough of the free market, which we don't have a free market, but at least release enough freedom to get, the productive people cranking out for their masters again, that person would be deified. He would be a successful, intelligent tyrant. But tyrants this is the mistake they always make, and I love it. I'm thrilled that they're making it.
I tell you this, Larken, my concern has been, just like you say, the biggest thing a libertarian would fear would be a government program that works. And I don't think we have anything to fear. But, the one thing that I'm really concerned about is that they do come in and try to convince us and are able to convince people that it can work. And that was the big fear during the Dr. Paul campaign. A lot of people that were supportive of that campaign even had, voiced a concern that, are we going to promote the delusion that American politics can be a vehicle towards freedom? And I argued, I said, I don't think so. I don't think we have to worry about that because I've gone through this. I've been, really nose to the grindstone since 88. And I think that the next generation next was going to learn the exact same thing that I did, that it's broke. It's really broke. It's more broke than you could possibly imagine, and you have to get up close to it and be part of it and inside it to see how broke it is. And you saw the manifestation of that very thing at Porkfest. These young minds get it. They're like, we are so far past this thing. There's no fixing it. There's just surviving it. So now I'm looking at how are we going to survive this? I mean, you do a great service by articulating this and kind of, being one of the Thomas Paines. I really enjoy your writing. But the thing is that in the end, I just want to keep breathing in and out and, let it all collapse and them and fight each other, whatever. I'm over in Gulls Gulch somewhere, and then, maybe we'll have a free society afterwards in one form or another. I don't know. I'm not locked into a country. I don't have this patriotic, nationalistic kind of anchor here when this government is the one that's been so oppressive to me. How would I have any kind of loyalty to such an evil entity? So I'm not locked into being here. I could be somewhere else. So I'm kind of extricating myself as quickly as possible to where I can be mobile. And when we come back, I want to know what Larken's doing, because I know he wants to breathe in and out. He wants to, enjoy his life with Tessa and Alyssa. His wife Tessa and his daughter Alyssa. This is going to be, an inspiration for others, knowing what people like Larken is doing. We're going to find out when we come back. This is Ernest Hancock. I'm publisher of freedomsphoenix.com and the radio talk show host of Declare Your Independence. Now, I want to give you my personal endorsement of a wealthy U.S. citizen that is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He's produced a video for you. It's a real eye-opener, and I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to watch it. www.endofamerica, the numbers 1 and 7.com. Endofamerica17.com. This video has the history of how we got where we are now and where we're going and why. Now, it's a lengthy video. It'll be about 20 minutes, but you need to watch this so you understand what's going to happen to this country and how you can protect your wealth and even benefit financially. Now, you go there. It's free. I want you to watch this video. You need to have this information so that you can survive the economic collapse that's coming to America. It's not if, it's when. That's End of America, the numbers 1 and 7.com. After you watch it, you'll understand why I endorse it.